In this video, we will be looking at some of the best goalkeeper wonderkids in Football Manager 2023. List of goalkeepers is Charlie Setford. He is an 18-year-old English goalkeeper who is contracted to Ajax when you begin a new save game. He stands at 6 foot tall and has a contract which runs until the end of June 2023. With his contract running down, there is a chance you could sign him for cheap. Unfortunately, he begins the game with a broken hand, which will sideline him for 7 to 8 months. He starts the game with a good core of goalkeeping stats which include kicking, passing, and reflexes being standouts. Both his physical and mental attributes will need to be worked upon for him to develop into a starting goalkeeper. He seems to be quite away from the first team at this point, but he has lots of scope for development. His 15 determination should see him push to reach the upper end of his potential. He is most comfortable playing as a sweeper keeper. Next up we have Dennis Seimen. He is a 16-year-old German who starts the game off contracted to VfB Stuttgart. He is 6'3" and is valued at the start of a new save game at between £6.4 to £9.8 million. He has a contract that runs until the end of June 2027. At the age of 16 he has some pretty impressive starting stats with a lot of room for improvement. Looking at his stats, he looks like he could be ready for first-team football despite his young age. He has a great set of goalkeeping attributes with rushing out, aerial reach and communication scoring highly. In the mental stats he scores highly for aggression, determination and leadership, whilst jumping reach leads his physicals. Despite only being 16, he comfortable playing as a sweeper keeper. Next up we have Gomes, a Portuguese goalkeeper who is 17 years old, and when you start a new save game he is valued between £350,000 and £3.4 million. He is 6'1" in height and has a contract that runs through to the end of June 2023. If that contract is not renewed, you may be able to get him quite cheap. At the age of 17 he has a good set of starting attributes. If we start with his goalkeeping stats, he has a good range with standouts being rushing out, kicking and reflexes. His mentals will need developing, but he does have a good set of physical attributes with agility and stamina standing out. His determination of 14 should see him go a long way to fulfilling his potential, and despite being 17 he is comfortable playing as a sweeper keeper. For the next player we are going to Spain. This is Iker Alvarez, an Andorran goalkeeper who starts the game contracted to Villarreal. He is 20 years old and stands at 6'3". At the start of a new save game he is valued at £3.9 to £5.8 million. His contract runs out at the end of June 2024. If we look at his attributes, it appears that he could be first team ready. He has a great set of starting stats for his goalkeeping attributes. Standouts are kicking, reflexes and passing. He has a good range of mental attributes and has a good core of physical attributes. He does have determination of 8, which means he may need some intense training to realize his potential. Up next we have Faaris Yusufu. He is a 17-year-old German goalkeeper who starts the game contracted to Schalke. At the start of a new save game he is valued between £60,000 and £600,000. He is 6 foot tall and has a contract that expires at the end of June 2023. This means that if the contract is not renewed you might be able to get him on the cheap. As a 17-year-old he looks like he is first team ready. He starts the game with a solid set of goalkeeping stats. Standouts are rushing out, handling and one-on-ones. His mentals could do with developing, but he does have standout determination score. His physicals are impressive for a 17-year-old. With determination of 18 he should be able to fulfill his potential at the highest level, and despite his age he is suited to playing a sweeper keeper. Now we are going to look at one of the more obscure goalkeeper wonderkids. This is 16-year-old Nathaniel Owusu. He starts the game contracted to Water FC in Nigeria. Standing at 6'2", he is valued at £9,000 to £95,000. He has a contract that runs to the end of June 2025. For a 16-year-old he starts the game with a good set of attributes. Looking at his goalkeeping stats, he seems to be destined to improve a lot. Standouts at the start of the game are handling, passing, and aerial reach. He has some very good mental stats including determination and decisions. For his physical attributes he has good pace and jumping reach. His determination of 15 should allow him to reach his potential with the right training. He prefers to play as an orthodox keeper. The next Wonderkid we are looking out is also the most expensive on the list. This is Gavin Bazunu. He is an Irish goalkeeper who stands at 6'2" and is valued between £35 and £53 million. He has a contract that runs to the end of June 2027. He is a full Irish international. At the start of the game he is one of the most complete Wonderkids on this list. Having moved to Southampton from Manchester City, he is first team ready. He has impressive attributes in all of the areas that you would expect and will develop into a fine goalkeeper. I think he has a great future ahead of him and he will only get better. Now we are going to Italy to look at Stefano Turati. He is a 20-year-old who starts the game contracted to Frosinone. He stands at 6'2" and has a contract that runs through to the end of June 2023. This means that if a new deal isn't agreed you might be able to get him for cheaper than his starting value of £5.4 to £8.2 million. At the age of 20 he is one of the goalkeepers on this list who are ready for first-team football. He starts off with a good set of goalkeeping attributes with standouts of one-on-ones, handling, and reflexes. He has a full set of physicals and some standout mental attributes too. His preferred position seems to be as an orthodox goalkeeper. Finally we are going to look at the highest-rated goalkeeper Wonderkid. This is Elia Caprile. He is a 20-year-old Italian goalkeeper who starts the game contracted to Bari. When you start a new save game he is valued at £210,000 to £2.1 million. He has a contract that runs till the end of June 2025. Looking at the player at the age of 20 he is ready for first-team football and has some impressive attributes to start off with. He has a lot of the things he will need to be a top goalkeeper in the future. In the goalkeeping stats he has good handling and reflexes. Going forward he has good mental and physical attributes to help him progress. His determination of 14 should help him reach his full potential. He can play as a sweeper keeper. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video please hit the like and subscribe button to support the channel. Don't forget that there are other videos on the channel such as tactic testing and rebuild series.